Excellent. So we're going to get started this morning on this LaunchPad webinar. And definitely, just before we start, if you can kindly just let me know if you can hear as well. I know that we are having some challenges sometimes with GoToMeeting lately. I'm sharing my screen. Sorry, not my screen, my screen. Excellent. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. So again, like I said, we have some up-to-date news, and we're also going to be sharing a case study that I shared with a few consultants already in the past week. And I know that perhaps you missed it last week if you were in the internet consultants call in the West Coast with WSI. So WSI head office. Well, I decided to share here as well because it brings a lot of value and definitely can give you a bit more uh, feedback or also more ideas on how to approach clients, specifically using uh, uh, you know the digital marketing blueprint, which we'll talk about. Excellent, perfect. So let's get started. Amalia, I believe we have a little bit of news from Google, something that was released. I think it was either late last week or yesterday. Can you perhaps share a little bit about that?
Uh, yes, absolutely. So I came across this here and I thought it was quite interesting that I want to share this with everyone. It's basically Google warns webmasters again, do not use sneaky mobile-based redirects. Basically, after warning webmasters in early 2014 about sneaky mobile redirects, Google now says it will issue manual actions, but also offers advice on how to clean up the unwanted redirects. Basically, Google announced that the company will take action on websites that intentionally or unintentionally have sneaky mobile redirects in place. Back on, I would say, April 2014, Google clarified their stance on the sneaky mobile redirect, but now they're giving webmasters a deeper look into these cases. One has to suspect that Google is seeing more and more cases of unwanted and deceptive redirects affecting mobile users. Two representatives from the Google Search Quality team stated redirecting mobile users to improve their mobile experience, like redirecting mobile users from example.com URL1 to m.example.com/URL1 is often beneficial to them. But redirecting mobile users sneakily to different content is bad for user experience and is against Google's webmaster guidelines. For example, when the sample URL is displayed in the search results pages on desktop and on mobile, and when a user clicks on this result on the desktop computer, the URL opens normally. But when the user clicks on the same result on a smartphone, it redirects a person, sending the user to unrelated URL and web page. So this is quite frustrating and sometimes unhealthy situation. Basically, if you move to the second page here, Google understands that sometimes these redirects are happening without the intent of the webmaster. Typically, these things can happen due to bad ads or being hacked. Number one reason, advertising schemes that redirect mobile users specifically, a script a script or element installed to display ads and monetize content might be redirecting the mobile users to a completely different site without the webmaster being aware of it. A number two issue could be that the mobile redirect as a result of the site being target of hacking. Basically, in other cases, if your website has been hacked, a potential result can be redirecting to spammy domains for mobile users. So Google has given webmasters 3 ways to detect when this happens because it often is unnoticed for a while. So one, they recommend check if you're redirected when you navigate to your site on smartphones several times a week. Number two, see if your web users are complaining about your site. Number three, monitor your users and the site's analytic data for unusual behavior changes. Here's Google's ending advice on this topic. It's a violation of Google's webmaster guidelines to redirect a user to a page with the intent of displaying content other than what was made available to the search engine crawler. Basically, there's more information on the sneaky redirects. To ensure quality search results for our users, the Google Search Quality team can take action on such sites, including removal of URLs from our index. When they take manual action, we send a message to the site owner via Search Console. Therefore, make sure you have set up a Search Console account. Be sure to choose advertisers who are transparent and on how they handle user traffic to avoid unknowingly redirecting your own users. If you're interested in trust building in the online advertising space, you may check out the industry-wide best practices when basically participating in these ad networks. For example, you can refer to Trustworthy Accountability Groups, which is an interactive advertising bureau. Inventory quality guidelines are a good place to start. And there are basically many other ways to monetize your content with mobile solutions that provide high-quality user experience, and they just recommend you to use them. So that was really interesting, and I just basically want to share that to everyone. Armando, did you want to provide
Yes,
any feedback on that?
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Amalia. So again, this is happening primarily in mobile-based redirects. So that's I'm actually sharing a screenshot here of the appropriate way that it should be. So if you look at here on the right-hand side, you have the mobile search results. So this is how it looks in your mobile, and you're talking about a specific topic or a specific given a specific URL domain, and it directs to the page. So here we're talking about example.com, or sorry, example domain, and it goes to example. So this is happening. What's happening right now is that in some cases, the search result pages are indexing a specific URLs that is totally unrelated to the actual topic once they get there, right? So again, this is happening primarily in mobile, right? And the major reasons that this is happening, as Amalia has shared, is due to either your site being potentially hacked, or injection of spammy content, or the use of borderline, black, gray hat advertisers who are sending who are sending your users to a totally different page, right? So this is just a warning that potentially can lead to a penalization of your site. And Amalia has shared that with us, that if you want to avoid that, number one, you should know who you're advertising with. If you're doing some advertising, you're monetizing on the website, your client is doing that, make sure that these are reputable advertising networks. Number one. Number two, let's say you're not doing any advertising and this just happens to you. uh, Make sure that you have your Google Search Console set up on your site, and also it's set up on the mobile version of your site if you're using a different mobile component or a mobile property. If it's responsive, as long as you have the Google Search Console or the Google Webmasters code or verification on your homepage, it should be able to track no problem. So it, in order to detect these issues, you can definitely log into your Google Search Console, and these errors will definitely be showing up. You'll be displaying. You'll get that. If it's actual a manual penalization or a major warning, you're actually see it in the dashboard of your Google Search Console. Like you can't miss it. Once you get in there, you'll see it, right? So that's number two. Other things like she mentioned is actually checking your site. Once in a while, several times per week, just making sure that you're redirected when you navigate to your site. Now, if you've launched a new landing page, or something new that you're doing a redirect uh, uh, for SEO purposes, or because that page no longer exists, double check it, right? Again, this is strictly happening for mobile. Right, so this is where the warning comes, because there's been a lot of suspicious activity, since last year, about these redirects that are definitely very sneaky, and they're not user intent. They're not giving the user what you are promoting. So again, um, um, make sure that if has happened, or if you a prospect or a client approaches you, make sure that you kind of double check that. So definitely something that is very important to take a note of when it comes in regards to the mobile search results and mobile optimization and mobile SEO, mobile ranking. Um, Amalia?
Yes. Okay. So another article, moving on, that I want to share is basically Google's next Penguin update should happen by the end of 2015. So basically, Google's new real-time Penguin algorithm, version 4.0, will likely be released by the end of this year. We're all expecting the next Penguin update to happen soon, but now we will know it will most likely be released within, what, I guess a month and a half, well, 2 months, by by end of the story of December. Gary Oz of Google Webmaster Trends Analyst has posted on Twitter that he expects release to be within 2015. Since only November and December remain in 2015, we have to assume the release will happen within these next few months. We can also expect the next release to be in the real-time version. That means that the algorithm will update continuously in real time. There won't be specific release dates for the Penguin updates after Penguin 4.0. Instead, as Google detects spammy links on the site, it may be impacted by Penguin. At the same time, when those spammy links are removed and Google's indexers pick up on that, the sites will no longer be impacted by Penguin. So I just want to share that with everybody. So that release will happen within the next little bit. Armando, any feedback? Oh, I think I may have lost Armando.
No, no, I'm here. I'm here. Sorry, I was a little bit mute. Yeah, what I was
Oh, here
saying.
we go.
What I was saying was that at this stage, be on the lookout for two things. One, your existing clients, making sure that their link building strategies are clean, that you've connected with the PCs and everything is okay. Yeah. Typically, at least with ALM, we run different tests and even MOS tools to make sure that the level of spammy links is very, very minimal to none, right? Number two, there is an opportunity here because as you can see, Google's releasing this again. I mean, this is like, version 4.0. So they really want to clean a spammy link building, right? Because if you recall, Penguin algorithm has to do with spammy links on a site, right? So there may be an opportunity for somebody who didn't get caught in the first three rounds, they'll get caught in the 4.0 round. So it just goes to tell you that Google wants to keep the system clean. And again, is the system, this algorithm deters uh, bad SEO specialists or bad SEO practitioners of using spammy link buildings to gain SEO, higher SEO authority, etc. Right? So just be on the lookout. It's definitely going to happen either November, December. We talked about it for the past few months, and it's something that's coming. So again, if you are dealing with prospects where you've identified this in the past and they haven't changed, or you come across a website that you suspect has spammy link building activities, this is a great opportunity to share more information with them from in a friendly perspective, in a consultative manner. And you know what? At the end of the day, you're helping them and providing them with information. So this is why we wanted to share that with you, so you're aware that the update most likely will be coming in November or December. I probably suspect mid-November to mid-December. Okay. Um, I don't think Google's that. I don't think they're a Grinch. They'll be doing it on the last 2 weeks of December. But anyhow, it may happen. Great. Thank you very much, Amalia. I wanted to share another interesting piece of news slash article, also coming from Google. It looks like today we're really focusing on Google, but this is in regards to Google My Business. And they just came out with a neat feature, a very interesting feature, specifically for the holidays. So if you have clients that are very aggressive in retail or online, or even, well, mainly retail, because you have to have an office store, an office location, or an actual retail store to have this. You are now able to advertise special hours to your local listings, well, to your clients' local listings within their Google My Business listing. So you can see here a screenshot of what special hours look like. So here, for example, you have, once you click on, let's say, Dandelion Chocolates retail store, you can actually see, holiday hours here in green. I apologize if you can't see any bigger. I couldn't make the screenshot any bigger, but it's going to be available. Okay, and these special hours will let local businesses inform their customers about longer or shorter stores hours based on the upcoming holidays, or even a special event the store may be holding. So great opportunity uh, to add more information on your My Google My Business. If this is happening with your clients, and you are working with a production team, whether it be ALM or somebody else, let the production team know, right? First of all, talk to your client, ask him if he's having any special events or anything planned out for the holidays, including special hours. And once that's done, and the client says yes and gives you the specific hours, make sure that it gets updated on Google My Business and connect with your production team. Don't just assume that the production team will pick it up. It's really your responsibility to let them know. But if there's special hours or a special event, there's this a neat feature that you can definitely take advantage of. I believe this is in the test phase because it's the first year that Google will be releasing it through Google My Business listings, right? And you know what? They also have a bit of a disclaimer too. For example, this disclaimer says hours might differ, right? So it allows you to do actually holiday hours or hours might differ. So it gives you that opportunity. Um, also here, there's another one here on the first draft, on the first screenshot, which says, you know, Christmas Eve might affect these hours. So it allows your clients to stay tuned with their end clients or their customers or consumers, and allow them to understand what's going on within the holidays. Again, primarily, I think that this is more of a B2C use, but even the B2B office, right? Let's say uh, they're going to be only offering services specific hours during the holidays. A law firm, a dental office, an accounting firm, etc. They can also have these updates. So it's a bit of an added value that you can give your clients. Definitely needs to be updated through their Google My Business listings. You can definitely do this yourself. I mean, like I said, a production team can do it for you. You can do this yourself. There's actually a link here, and give me a quick second. I'm going to share this link with you. I should have these links already ready for you. But here's a help document on how to do this, and it's not that hard. It's not uh, it's not hard to do. So just adding the link here. 76. Yep. Okay, so I'm adding the link here, and definitely it's going to gives you all the information that you need to know about how to do it. Now they do it three ways. You can, there's a document where you can set special hours via spreadsheet, or set special hours online, so manually, or set hours that extend into the next day. And Google's trying to make it as simple as possible for users to take advantage of this. So again, if you do have a client um, who is a retail or even a B2B, here it is, Google My Business Help. I'm sharing it in the screen. Very, 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 very important that you share with them. So you know what? It's um, it's a very simple thing to do, but it's also an added value to your client. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you, and that link also as well, that you can definitely from your side also share with your clients. Okay, excellent. Perfect. Moving forward to the next one. Again, another, it looks like we've been busy talking about penalties and warnings today from Google. And this one is specifically for mobile. So this is the second one for mobile that Google actually released it yesterday. So basically, they've been very active on making sure that a mobile user experience is continues to improve, right? So just to let you know, Google's app interstitial giant ad penalty is now live. Definitely released it under a new mobile-friendly algorithm penalizing sites using giant small install interstitial ads. So I'm going to kind of share with you in a second what that looks like. I believe we touched base on this back on September in regards to these giant ads for apps that may be leading to ranking declines starting on November 1st. This is something that Google had indicated, and basically what they call the app install interstitial penalty. And Google announced it on various social networks, including Google Plus, saying the following: starting today, pages with an app installed interstitial that hide a significant amount of content on the transition from the search result page won't be considered mobile friendly. They are very annoying, and I get them all the time. I get them even on the BBC. I subscribe to the BBC.com, and every time I go there, and I'm going to pages, I get these ads, and they're very, very big and pretty much annoying. So I'll show you an example in the next few seconds. Google's advice: instead of full page interstitial, we recommend that webmasters use more user-friendly formats such as app install banners, We hope that this change will make it easier for searchers to see the content of the pages they're looking for. So again, this is going to be part of the mobile slash app friendly algorithm. So let me share so I'm sharing my screen here of what the penalty will what type of ads Google will penalize. So if you are on a website, for example, BBC.com, CNN.com, or Jimmy's Garage, and basically you're kind of browsing, and then you'll see these big long ads popping up. This is not SEO, sorry, not mobile friendly. So Google's going to penalize these type of ads that take up the whole screen, right? Because they don't want that to happen. What they want you to do is, if you're going to have an ad, whether it's on your mobile or your app, to make it short, make it halfway, right? So it doesn't take up, or a smaller version of it, where you can actually click on it and with an accordion feature in the ad will display fully, right? So that's what they're recommending, or perhaps maybe take 3/4, no, one third of the page max. They don't want you to have this big hovering ad on the covering your whole mobile, and this is active as of today, right? So again, if you have clients that are doing any type of mobile or app ads on their sites, any type of hovering banner ads or anything like that, please make sure that you advise them that they should either create them smaller, right, and probably have a link to an actual page, etc., a call to action to an actual page where you can display the proper information. But what Google doesn't want is that you're going to the About Us page, you get this banner popping up here that has nothing to do with the About Us page, but it has to do with the promo, and it just takes up the whole screen. Or you have a blog in regards to, if it's Jimmy's Garage, fine tuning your car for the winter, and that's what you want to read because you saw it on the search engine, and then you go there, and this big banner pops up that talks about, oil change special of the month, right? So again, want to make sure that if your clients are doing any type of banner advertising on their sites, or any type of hover ads or rolling ads, that they have the right size. And again, this only affects mobile and app versions as well. Very quickly, I talked about this last week, and I had some questions and some feedback from other ICs, and wanted to quickly go through this again, so it's not that I'm repurposing or just want to regurgitate uh, um, the rank brain algorithm, but Google uses a machine. Actually, they talked about it last week. They actually are using a machine learning to help deliver its results. What's known as rank brain. And rank brain is basically Google's name for a machine learning artificial intelligence system that used to help process its search results. This was actually, now it's gone into mainstream media. It was actually featured in Bloomberg, and also was confirmed by Google. And basically, this machine learning algorithm, or part of an algorithm, is where a computer teaches itself how to do something rather than being taught by humans or following detailed programming. So this is how it works, right? Uh, Basically, one of the questions that comes up all the time is, so RankBrain is the new way Google ranks search results? No, RankBrain is part of Google's overall search algorithm, a computer program that's used to sort through the billions of pages that it knows about and find the ones the most relevant for particular queries. So just wanted to share that with you again very quickly, because we did get some questions whether RankBrain was actually a new algorithm. It's not. It's part of the algorithm known as Hummingbird. And now actually release the name. So it's just a component of Hummingbird. It's just the little engine that actually drives Hummingbird, right? And from what it is, and the importance of it is that it is important because it has become part of Google's third most important signal, right? So definitely wanted to kind of share this with you. There's a lot of articles written about it right now on Search Engine Watch, Search Engine Journal, Search Engine Land. So if you definitely want to learn more, those are, and even you can try Moz as well, Moz.com, and they definitely have some really good articles on it. It's a very technical component, but you know what? If somebody asks you about rank brain, did you hear about the rank brain algorithm? Well, RankBrain is really a component of Hummingbird, right? So it's not an algorithm on its own. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. Excellent. So just to move forward here, I wanted to spend some time today talking about a case study that we worked with earlier this year. The name of the company is called Bond Brand Loyalty. The URL is there, bondbrandloyalty.com. And it's part of the Merits company. It's a leader in building brand loyalty for world's most influential and valuable brands. They have been recognized by Forrester Research as a leader in loyalty program services and proudly nerd out human experience design. Anything that has to do with, I mean, this is a Canadian company, and anything that has to do with rewards, credit card loyalty programs, type of entertainment loyalty programs. They have a program here called Scene that focuses on the major uh, um, uh, cinemas such as Cineplex, and also they have a program with Ford, the car company, what they call the professional performance program. So anything that has loyalty program they work with. I wanted to share this specific case study because it gives consultants an opportunity to approach larger organizations, but at the same time, um, many times we get requests from ICs from small, mid, and large organizations that they're looking for specific services, as whether it be SEO, paid search, social media. But for the most part, as we go through the IBA and you start analyzing the IBA, because we like to read the IC's IBAs, we have realized that a lot of these companies want to act tactically and not strategic. So, and when you look at the history of some of their previous advertising campaigns, they've been all tactical. There was no strategy behind it. So what ends up happening is that they get frustrated. They distrust digital marketing companies because they feel that the campaigns haven't worked. They give up. They don't. Because of the fact that they haven't managed the campaigns properly and there's no results, they get discouraged, etc. There's a lot of reasons why. It's a good thing for us, right? Because it creates an opportunity. But what we decided to do with a few of these companies and organizations is develop what we call a digital marketing blueprint. Dan Monahan talks about it in regards to the transit map and the fact that it's a blueprint. And for us, the digital marketing blueprint, if you've seen our video, which is a great video on the lead generation machine, the digital marketing blueprint is really your marketing plan online. And as opposed to doing tactical, you want to be strategic. And some organizations like Bond Brand Loyalty were being more tactical, and the fact of the matter that they didn't have in-house expertise, or they didn't have a handle of digital marketing in-house, or they just needed help, right? Which is okay. Uh, this is where a digital marketing blueprint comes in handy because it gives you direction. They had tried different tactics and they weren't working. And the reason they weren't working was because there was no blueprint, there was no analysis, there was no assessment, there was no direction, goals, KPIs, etc. Right? So that's what the blueprint does. Now, this can apply also to a small business. Okay, and we are going to be working. The one that I'm going to be sharing with you is a blueprint for a larger organization, but we are working on a smaller version of this blueprint. And as a matter of fact, we're thinking of releasing one just for SEO, just for PPC. And the whole thing is to give ICs the opportunity to provide a strategic document rather than just a tactical. Now, you can do tactical sometimes, and for us, tacticals maybe even running before you do before you implement a strategy. Maybe you want to run some tactical campaigns or some quote unquote pilot campaigns to get some data in order to be able to then create baseline reporting, baseline KPIs, baseline goals, etc. Right? But you will notice that some organizations, they just, let's do a social media campaign because our competitors are doing it. So here we go. Everyone does it. Let's do inbound marketing because it's supposed to be the greatest thing for lead generation, and that's great. But sometimes it's about going back to basics and doing a digital marketing strategy. And if you're able to position this properly, you'll be able to not only earn the business but win the trust gain the trust of your client, right? Of your new client. Some of the challenges that were happening here are what I just mentioned to you. Bond Brand Loyalty have a very good position in Canada, but wanted to focus on growing in the U.S. market. Specifically, wanted to target San Francisco, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Chicago, New York, and needed to start. How do we begin? How do we keep budgets? How much should we allocate to these markets? Where should we go about it? Okay. Now, previous to that, they had already internally implemented several digital marketing tactics, and they weren't happy. They had already they were using HubSpot, sorry, as their inbound marketing tool, and they weren't happy with it because they weren't writing perhaps they weren't getting the right content marketing strategy, or they weren't getting the results from their content marketing strategy. They had done very little SEO, some social media, some media buying. So there were all these things that were happening. They had done the PPC campaign that also didn't work, and they were frustrated with that. So again, these were things that they had tried, and they're doing the right things, right? I mean, they're doing the right tactics. Is there the approach was not there, the right approach. And one of the reasons is because they lacked in-house expertise and experience. That's where the WSI consultant, can bring added value. So they needed WSI to help them build a digital marketing blueprint, get them up and running, and hopefully become more self-sufficient in managing their inbound marketing. This blueprint, again, can be also a tool from a sales perspective to work with companies that already have an in-house team. The client or the prospect may tell, well, I already have writers, I already have a PPC person. Okay, are you happy with the results of that PPC campaign that your in-house marketing researcher? Oh, well, you know what? Sometimes the director of marketing is running it, or in some cases, if it's a small company, is actually the owner of the company, and they don't have the time. So here is a way of actually looking back at what they've done and creating a proper digital marketing blueprint. And for you, the opportunity is to put your foot in the door, to get your foot in the door, and also start providing them with a specific service little by little. Now, it's okay if you create the blueprint, the strategy, and they implement it, and then you audit that strategy, right? So that's where the opportunities come as well for the consultant. So there's a lot of ways of really approaching this. So this is the case of Bond Brand Loyalty. They already had a team in house, a team of writers, about 6 or 7 writers that they had in house. They were pumping out content, but the director of marketing wasn't confident that it was the right content for the website. It's like they were just writing, but there was no strategy behind it, right? Also, the PPC campaign was failing, and they weren't getting the ROI from their inbound marketing activities as well. So we kind of began working with them. How did we find them? This is very important. It was through a social selling campaign. It was via an IC. The IC actually was posting on LinkedIn. The director of marketing liked what he posted, what the IC wrote about. So it's also good that that you as an IC continue to blog on LinkedIn, not just have your little excerpts or posts weekly, however you manage your LinkedIn strategies or your social selling, but it's good that you write some good heavy content. And THO does have some good content that you can just repurpose or adapt it to your own way, etc. That way you don't have to recreate it, but it's good that you actually do that. So through a post that was a blog post, the end client, the director of marketing, approached the IC, and we began the whole process. Why did we decide to position the digital marketing blueprint to the client? Given that the company, Bond Brand Loyalty, had an in-house team with several resources and were already digital marketing adapters, they were already doing digital marketing. The goal was to, number one, help them in strategy development and provide guidance. Number two, work with their in-house team to drive the tactics with a well-rounded plan, right? So as you can see from the picture on the right-hand side, for us, the digital marketing blueprint is one of the crucial first components of a lead generation engine, right? So pricing for this, it starts at $5,500. The retail goes around 12,000. It's a 20 to 40 page, depending on the type of company and the data that we collect, could be up to 43, 45 page document that they get, analyzing different aspects of their digital marketing strategies. And if they don't have any digital marketing tactics, we actually look at their traditional marketing campaigns, and that helps us to create a baseline of KPIs and goals for any type of online marketing strategy. So they don't necessarily have to just be digital marketing adapters, people that are, companies that are already doing digital marketing. We can also review companies that are already doing some sort of marketing, right? And if they don't have this component, okay, not a problem. We customize it, and that's why the pricing varies. And again, we are in the process of creating a smaller digital marketing blueprints. I probably won't have them released until I believe probably early next year or maybe by December, but it's something in the works. But for now, we have this digital marketing blueprint. We have created one for a company that was about uh, probably about $17,000 that the IC sold it for, around there. It was a much larger engagement. So it also the amount of hours, right, that you are investing in this blueprint, right? Okay. Now, what is the goal of the digital marketing blueprint? Okay. The key thing is that what do we give them? I mean, I'm paying you all this money. What are we getting? That's what the client's going to ask you. Well, what we do is we evaluate and create. We will begin with completing an in-depth assessment of your current properties via on-site or virtual meetings or a combination of both. Obviously, that was the case with Bond. We actually met with them, but in the case that we're dealing with some of the ICs in across North America, we can actually do this via GoToMeeting, telephone, virtual meetings, etc. We'll make it happen for the client, and obviously we recommend that the IC, while we're having these meetings, visits the client's office as well. Okay. The goal of these meetings will be to, number one, review and assess historical data. Now, that historical data, like I mentioned earlier, could be for traditional marketing activities or any online activities they have today. Then we will develop a first cut of your new strategy, which will include the plan, controls, and desired results and general KPIs. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit more on this so you understand what they're getting. But the digital marketing blueprint includes, for example, situational analysis. What's the current state of marketing in the organization? Objective setting, goal KPIs. Setting useful, actionable objectives based on the discovery sessions that we did above. Strategies. Okay, now that we have these goals and these KPIs, these objectives, how are we going to achieve them? So we're going to set up a strategy. There are tactics. What are the tactics based on the research and the assessment that we did and external research that we've done, right? Well, what are the tactics that can work best, right? SEO may not work for this company. Paid search may not, and they've been investing money on these areas, elements, and perhaps for some reason it doesn't work. Well, we're going to identify through this digital marketing blueprint the best of mediums, right, or tactics, right? Actions and controls. Now that we've set some general standard KPIs, let's elaborate on these. Let's break them down. What do we expect? And it comes with an executive summary. So if you're pitching this to a director of marketing, the director of marketing will have a summary that he himself or herself can use to present to his board, to his management team, to get more budget for digital marketing activities, right? It's The assessments are about 3 to 5 hour consultations. Like I said, phone, email, go to meeting, and includes a 20 plus page document. In the case of Bond Brand Loyalty, it turned out to be a 43 page document with a number of appendices that we use. So there was like I think about 5 or 7 appendix that were pretty long in detail because of all the research that we did. So it is really a very very uh, 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 well-rounded plan. On top of that, okay, not only do they get the marketing blueprint, so they get the actual binder or the actual workbook of the blueprint with everything, we also do a presentation for them, right, to go over it and basically do a summary of that 43 or 40 page or 20 page document in an hour, right? And we go through all the elements, and there's always feedback. So we make it very, very customer and also user friendly. Okay. Um, Here are some of the table of contents. For example, for Bond Brand Loyalty, you'll notice that there was a background component that we had to analyze. The brand itself, we had to analyze what were the competitors. In this case, we looked at 4 competitors: Epsilon, Brierley and Partners, Amaya, and Kobe Marketing. We analyzed the competitors. We did top level and a little bit more in-depth assessment of their digital marketing activities, their position in the marketplace. Like for example, if you look at here, Bond Brand Loyalty amongst the leaders by Forrester. So they're ranked between number 3 and 4 in regards to loyalty firms in North America and via their overall market presence, right? So very strong. But we actually looked at some of the other competitors. We looked at competitor data overviews. We looked at key insights based on competitor data. We used a methodology called the RACE methodology, which is um, act, convert, and engage. And in these methodology, we looked at different elements to make sure that we were getting the right strategy for them, right? We actually, for reach, for example, in this case, we use SEO, organic, PPC, content syndication, and social media as the main driving tools for them, right? Because that's what we recommended will work for them in order to go out there, reach customers, right? Also and email marketing, right? Because they were doing inbound marketing as well. Act, convert, and engage, these are other elements that we also look into more detail. Okay, here's just a very simple screenshot on the left hand side of the actual one of the many screenshots that we do in the competitor analysis. And believe it or not, you may think, I mean, to our eyes as experts, because we know what we know, this data may seem very, very simple and basic. However, the client didn't know, for example, how many index pages they had versus, their competitors, or how many, Facebook likes they had, and they were doing a social media strategy, but they only had 5 likes versus their competitors. Look how high, right? And they were wondering, whoa, 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 why, why is this such, if we're very active on social media? Because if you look at the Twitter followers, they had 1493 for Twitter. They were like in third place compared to their competitors, but they weren't wondering, well, how come we're not getting any likes, right? What about followers in Google Plus or LinkedIn, right? So look at this company, Epsilon, 76,000 followers, 24,000 followers, 8,000. They were like pretty much in last place in LinkedIn, while their competitors were very aggressive in LinkedIn, right? In YouTube, they were more active, right? So as you can see, even this data synthesizes or summarizes, gives them an outlook of where they are. And trust me, this is just one of the many screenshots that we provided to them in regards to data. On the right hand side, now I kind of planned a little bit about what they had to do. So you can see here that they had a number of leads that we had to generate on a yearly basis, their goals, the percentage of which medium, direct traffic, organic traffic, paid, referral, social. So we broke it down per source, and we actually allocated a specific budget and a cost per lead, right? This is a recommended. If the client wants to use 1/3, 1/4 of the budget, obviously these numbers will have to be divided into that specific equation, right? So again, this is data that you give them. So now they have an outlook, because some of these companies don't even have a cost per lead or a cost per acquisition, right? So these are numbers and KPIs that they need to do to better their marketing strategies. And if they work hand in hand with their sales teams, they can even get like cost per sale, etc. Right? So some companies have this, some companies just have bits and pieces, and they're kind of driving on the tactical mode, not strategic mode. And when you're in a tactical is good, but strategies gives you, the right plan, the right path, where to go. It's like a map, right? So digital marketing blueprint suggested for individual firms or industries, particularly what kind of client. It can be created for any type of firm and industry. And the main point here is when you're going through the IBA, if you're hearing that client is doing more tactical than strategy, hey, listen, this is a great service or product that you can, a solution that you can provide your client, because you give them that strategy. The ideal client, ideally somebody that's spending advertising dollars online, however, they're not happy with the results, or somebody that's doing traditional marketing, they want to invest in advertising online. They don't know which are the best avenues. They're very aggressive on their traditional marketing, but they're saying, well, you know what? I only want to do traditional marketing because I don't know what works on online marketing, and I don't want to invest in online marketing, and if the risk is high. Well, avoid that risk, have a strategy in place, and let's test it out, right? A company who's a believer of digital marketing services and lacks internal resources to manage. So this could be another type of client. They believe in digital marketing services, but they don't know how to come up with the strategy or the solutions. What are the real benefits to the client for the blueprint creating value? Number one is strategic direction, right? Strategic direction is going to save them money, save them time, save them resources. Uh, we were working with another company that had spent about $10,000 on a PPC campaign, and they had received zero ROI, very minimal leads. I'm talking about minute number of leads, and when we spoke with them, we talked to them about the fact of the matter that had they put a strategy towards advertising $10,000 worth of PPC, and they said no, we just opened up an AdWords account and we looked at some keywords. We had a person in house that knew a little bit about PPC and they were managing it. Okay, so what was the strategy? You know, what was the strategy? What did you want to achieve? What we wanted to generate leads. Okay, what were the promotions that you were doing? What were the campaigns that you were running? Did you divide the campaigns inside Google AdWords? How were you running these campaigns? How were you measuring these campaigns? What were the landing pages? What was the type of content that you were providing? So all these things are very important in the strategic direction versus the tactical, right? What were the goals that you wanted to achieve, right? So these are things that sometimes they don't have. So it gives them a complete picture of their results in digital marketing activities. It also educates the client on new opportunities for online marketing that they never had before. For example, Bond brand loyalty, they were doing some content syndication, and we talked to them about other avenues that they could definitely syndicate the content and acquire via media buying tactics, and that was very appealing to them. Complete visibility, right? They have numbers, KPIs in front of their a dashboard to be able to measure against year over year with established benchmarks and KPIs. What is the objective? And what services do you pitch as a follow-up? So from a consulting, WSI sales perspective as a consultant, here the objective is number one, obviously to get your foot in the door, but also to offer complete consulting services. So after you've done this digital marketing blueprint, they can actually keep you on a retainer model. Now they don't have to pay you to be there all the time, but even if they give you consulting hours, 10 consulting hours a month or 5 consulting hours a month to help them drive this through their in-house team, for example, or just auditing their performance every 30 days or every 90 days or 60 days, whatever works for them. It definitely gives you a bit of recurring revenue, right? And secondly, it also leads for you to develop a marketing solution a la carte, right? Where you're doing some ASEO, some media buying, some email marketing, some PPC, etc. So it opens the door, right? And in this case, there's been two different engagements because Bond Brand has they're a sizable organization. They have their in-house team, like I said, but the consultant has been able to go back to the client and upsell them on two different opportunities. And the client is very happy. We keep in touch, or the IC keeps in touch with Bond's director to make sure that they're following the blueprint, right? Now, whether they're following it to a T or not, that's their on their responsibility. But at least from our perspective, we were able to kind of bring value to them because there was a document that can be used and updated to provide to be used on a yearly basis, right? If they keep this document updated. Excellent. So wanted to share this with you today. Again, today a bit of a shorter webinar than always, but wanted to thank you for joining us. I do have a few questions before we go here. Um, Whoa, okay, okay, Howard, awesome, some great questions here. Um, ba, 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 bam. Yeah, Howard wants to know more about this regards to the details, so we'll send you the details regards to the strategic planning and also how do we qualify companies? No problem. We'll send you that information. Can you provide scalable, valuable-based pricing for this digital report based on size of company, specific needs, priorities, and their available funds for this report? We're working on that right now, Howard. Like I said, we're trying to downsize this a little bit as well, so smaller companies can benefit from it. I know that THO in working with them, they're coming up with a competitive analysis that should be about, I think, between the ranges of $1,500 to $2,500. The IC can sell to the end client. So this is something that's coming up the pipeline from THO. From our perspective, like I said, we're hoping that in the first quarter of 2015, 2016, we can have this. It just takes a lot of work, and definitely, yeah, it's scalable, uh, and uh, and definitely we can assist you in qualifying this. And I can tell you that the biggest qualifier tool that you can use will be the IBA, because in the IBA you'll start listening to what the client is. You can pay close attention to what the client's pain points are. And if you're digging deep, if you're kind of doing follow-up questions once you uncover the pain, it's going to definitely allow you to uncover what the real issue is. Because there could be symptoms, and you're going to get to the bottom of it, right? And you want to make sure that clients are thinking strategic, not tactical. Because one of the main reasons we've seen that clients fail is because they think tactical and not strategic. So anyhow, thank you very much for joining us today, Amalia. I know that we're going to have our promos for November. We're a little bit late. We apologize by next week, Tuesday. But if you have any
Yeah.
questions during the week about our promos, our solution services, you can reach Amalia, Michelle. Amalia, anything from your side? I know that we're getting a lot of great feedback from the video. So if you want to, well, I'll leave it to you, Amalia. Don't want to take your thunder.
No, no, I just want to thank everybody for joining us, and by all means, we will have our November promotions available within, I think, the next couple of days. So definitely reach out to me, and I will share that with you, and so will Michelle. And yeah, we just look forward to next week. Great. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining. Have yourself a great week. Take care. Bye bye.